Yeah, we're live right now.
Oh, I'm sorry. All right. I didn't know. We were sitting here laughing and cutting up. Welcome to episode 5 of the Let Her Eat podcast. Thanks for the heads up. I didn't know you were hitting the button.
Well, he did give 3.
Yeah.
So I rolled with it.
Yeah, we're having mic issues. We're laughing at Bo. It looks like he's over there having to kiss the mic because it's so close to him. I think we've tried a different mic setup every week that we've been here. But and me and Brad were just laughing about the guy at Knoxville that had, and I've done this a bunch of times. We usually put duct tape and make like a visor, like a sun visor, like if we're qualifying or something, the sun's still out. Usually it's going down at like the worst time. We're out there trying to run our quickest lap, and this guy at Knoxville was qualifying, and the duct tape come off and hit him in the helmet. Just smacked him in the helmet. He couldn't see for a second.
Yeah, I'm legally blind.
And that's what we were just sitting here talking about. So this is probably the least prepared podcast that we've had yet.
No. God, you can't be this one. I feel way more prepared.
Well, I'm a lot more relaxed, but I'm just saying, like, I was so busy. I haven't even given it any thought. And I was sitting here going through, like, all right, what happened this past weekend? And
a whole lot didn't happen.
A whole lot didn't happen.
Wasn't a whole lot that went on.
Pretty dry weekend.
Yeah. No, it wasn't. It was the complete opposite. It was totally wet.
Yeah. We had rain out number 25 of the season, it feels like.
25 or 2,500.
A whole lot.
Yeah, you were going to Farmington and they rained out.
Yeah.
Who else? I mean, it was...
ASCS rained out Saturday night.
Yeah.
So since May 31st, I've raced 2 times. Yeah, I've raced 2 times since May 31st. Well, no, sorry, take it back. Man, how many times?
Well,
I've raced 3 times since then. I've raced 3 times since May 31st.
That's how many races I've run the whole year, Brad.
Well, I mean, so I should have like 15. Maybe
if you don't count all my iRaces, which I've gotten like super deep into iRacing lately, but it's kind of my.
What's your Twitch? What's your Twitch?
I think. You know, I don't even know.
Man, you gotta have the Twitch ready.
I think it's Racer 3H84. I'm pretty sure you could probably.
Let's link that in.
Yeah, but yeah, I don't get to go racing as much on the weekends anymore. So like that's like my only outlets. Now I race all the time, and I don't race. He gets on to me all the time. Like when I first did my first Twitch or whatever, and he got on, and he's like, "Boo, NASCAR!"
I couldn't watch it. I turned it right off.
Yeah, he turned it right off. But like. The sprint car on iRacing does not drive like a sprint car, and it drives me nuts. And I actually had an interesting conversation with a guy. His name was Rob. He's in a league that I joined on there, and he was telling me that he worked for a NASCAR team. It was Bob Keselowski's team, and one of the races we run was over, and he was just telling me that he's like the setups that's in the cars on iRacing or whatever. Like if you go in to the setup garage and you try to change this, that, and the other, like shocks or bump stops or whatever it is, he said none of that is like the real thing. He said if we tried to put this setup in the real car, it would be terrible. He said it'd be awful. And he said the reason they do that in the game is to make it so much easier for everybody to drive it. And I remember one night specifically, me and Dad went up to my room when I was still at home, and I had my racing rig in there, and I was just telling him like what the car was doing, and we're trying to fix it. And we literally went from one extreme to another, and the car, like I didn't feel any different. So I don't like the sprint car on iRacing yet. It's a lot better than it was than it used to be, but it's still, I just don't get nothing out of it. I just don't enjoy it. And everybody gets in there, it's a wreck fest because can't nobody hang on to the thing. So I don't do it. I like to run the old NASCAR stuff. It's fun. It's way more fun than the newer NASCAR stuff, like the next gen car. But that's where I get my release. I get in there and I go run a bunch of NASCAR races, and I have fun with it. I know you don't like to watch the NASCAR stuff, but it's fun to me.
But I haven't done the iRacing since 2019. I go over to my buddy Perky's and run his rig, and I always just ran the 305, 360 the sprint car. I couldn't ever do the late model or the modified, but I'll do the 305, 360. Even though I got in the 410, I couldn't hardly drive those things, but it was fun to me.
Well, it was just
It was back in 2019.
It's real exaggerated, in my opinion. Like I told that guy, I was like, like I've never stood in the gas on like in real life in the 410, and I just felt like I was just going to loop it around like that. You know what I mean? Like I've never felt out of control.
Yeah.
But in the game, if you go in there and just stab it, even in the slick, it just loops around.
That's exactly what I felt like. And you can't ever feel the car turn.
Yeah.
It's just next thing you know, you're rolling around.
Yeah.
There's no signal, there's no motion on the screen, there's no nothing to say this thing's about to turn around on you. So you can't when you do get into correct and you start to cut back into it, 9 times out of 10 it's too late.
Yeah, it's really over exaggerated in my opinion. And like Christopher Bell was in. Have I told y'all this about what he told me? Christopher Bell was in a race with us in Atlanta. This has been, I think it was like 2018. We were at Atlanta before they repaved it and all that stuff. And we were running Xfinity cars. And that's what he was doing at the time, like for real. And somebody in the session asked him, like, do you ever feel like you're going to spin out in the dog leg? Because like old Atlanta, you'd run 2 or 3 laps and it would just kill the tires. And you'd lose half a second or worse. After a couple laps. And anyway, and it was that way in real life, but you'd be going through the dog leg and the car, as soon as you get to the start finish line, it would want to kind of like act like it was going to spin out in the middle of the darn straightaway. And he even said, he told that guy, he said, I've never felt like I was going to spin out on a straightaway before, like ever. So I think it's a little over exaggerated as far as that goes, but it's still fun. I think it still teaches you like racecraft. You still have to be really smart, but it's not like I'm gonna go in there and actually learn anything.
I'm gonna say, did you listen to the Dale Jr. download from last week, Carson Hocevar?
No, I never did. Well, I never did listen.
He talks quite a bit about his iRacing setup. He's actually got one in his hauler.
Yeah.
And that's something that's unique. Carson Hocevar is the only guy that has one in his hauler, as far as anybody on that podcast knew. But you see that guy, I mean, he was a little bit of nobody last year, and now this kid's running up in the top 15 most races. I mean,
all I've seen is everybody's mad at him.
Everybody's mad at him.
That's all I know about him is everybody's mad at him.
On the show, he was telling, it was kind of, I don't want to say sad. It ain't sad. I mean, it's just the way he wants it to be, I guess. But he was saying on that show, like, how he has, like, nobodies at the racetrack. Like, none of them. He don't talk to none of them. He don't spend any time with any of them outside the racetrack or nothing. I mean, it's not like I do much either, but yeah, he was like, he doesn't talk to anybody. He no friends, no nothing. He just goes home, races, and goes and runs on the weekends. So, but yeah, I knew about the racing rig. He told a story about how he had stayed in the hauler, kept racing one night.
They race. He's streaming all the time.
Well, the garage was closed or something, and he wasn't even supposed to be in there. He was up there in the hauler, just sitting there racing on his rig.
He had to get somebody,
and everybody was gone, or something like that.
Yeah, Dale. In the beginning of it, Dale was like, "You mean you sneak in?" And he's like, "Well, I mean, I'm wearing one of my T-shirts, and when I walk up, I'm Carson Hocevar. They kind of know who I am, so they let me into the garage, even though."
It's not like he's going to go in there and tinker with anything. He's just going in there.
He's just going in there to drive. But I do wonder how much that influences. I know me and you have talked about, in the beginning of the season, who was the hottest at the beginning of the NASCAR season? It was the guys that were racing dirt from February until January until NASCAR started in late February, and
Well, Bell was wearing them out.
Bell,
left and right.
Larson. I mean, everybody that was racing dirt was hot coming in. And what was the reason behind that? Probably, I mean, we don't know for sure, but probably because they've been in race situations and they came into the season ready to race or already racing. I wonder if, we see a little bit of Hocevar. He's starting to show up midway through the season.
He's getting faster.
The car is fast. If he couldn't keep himself out of trouble, he's racing and, he's racing for wins. I mean, he's already racing for wins. What am I saying?
He's getting smarter.
Yeah.
He's definitely getting smarter.
But I wonder how much of that can be attributed to the time that he spends iRacing.
Yeah, probably. Like I said, it helps.
I guarantee there's a little bit.
It helps with racecraft.
2019, when I was playing it, I played it during that winter. I would go over to his house and we would play it all that winter. That next race season, I did win 7 features that season. And that's like the most I'd won in a single season. So I don't know if that had anything to do with it, but
Might
it
have
was
been.
kind of weird
What
how
did-
it happened.
Did Chastain after the World 600? Did he say something about? I can't remember if it was Chastain. I think it was because he won. But
So one thing I would like to know about all that is there's a difference apparently between like the manufacturers have their own sim rig,
yeah,
but I don't think it's iRacing. I think it's their own thing. I'd be real curious to know if that's true and like how, because I've even Kyle Busch and a couple of them have even said like they'll get on the racing rig and they'll do stuff and then they get to the racetrack and then they'd be like 2 seconds off, so it's not even close. So I don't know what they have, but I'd be real curious to find out like what it is they're using,
yeah.
what they're doing.
It could
If
be that
it's-
the rigs are so much more like those. What is Toyota's GRZ? Is it GRZ or
Man, I
whatever
have
the
no
Toyota
idea.
trailers are that go? When we went to the truck race a month ago or so, they had those rigs out there.
Oh, I know what
and
you're talking about. Yeah.
Those rigs were a lot different. I mean, they were high end. They were
Well,
very high end.
The rig itself was probably that, but I'm saying like where they were probably using iRacing, and I think whatever Chevrolet and Toyota or Ford, like whatever their sim is, it's something that's like private.
Yeah.
Is what I'm saying. I'd be real
Well,
curious.
that's not what Hostbar's using, though.
No. He's
I
using
mean, he's in the
iRacing.
hauler using iRacing.
'Cause
He's
he's-
racing with it. I mean, you can go.
Yeah.
If you can find his group, you can race with him.
Yeah. Well, it's based on iRating, so like nobody probably wants to hear about this,
We
but
probably
like,
can't race with him.
well,
Just leave it at that.
I don't know what his iRating is, but like mine's around. I think I got over 3,000 last week.
Yeah.
I don't know what his is.
I'm sure
but
it's
I
on
mean,
up there.
Yeah, there's guys that have 7,000-8,000 iRating, and then there's guys 1,500 iRating or less. So I don't know. I don't really know what he's got. I have run with Dale Jr. before. I finished second him at Richmond one night. I ran with Joey Logano one night. Denny Hamlin. Ron Capps was in there one time. I ran a Legends car with him. There's been a lot of people I've run with in there. It's pretty interesting. Mike Skinner gave me a setup. I got to talking to him one night in a practice session. He gave me a setup at Bristol. Told me to try it. And I went and won the darn cup race, and then I never saw him again. So I never got to talk to him again after that. But he was on there. I doubt he's on there still. But I love it. I enjoy it. I wish y'all would get on
cool. It's definitely a cool deal. Maybe
Yeah.
one of these days when I'm rich and can afford a sim rig, I'll do it.
it. Yeah.
I just know how I am. Like I get into it super deep for like about a month, and then I just stop forever. Like that's why I was with PlayStation, everything else. Like I get deep into it,
You don't
then I just stop and don't go back for.
you don't play the Outlaw game anymore, do you?
No, I haven't played that in so long. And I was heavy in it for about a month.
That's
And
that,
I
but
just
you wore it out.
stopped and didn't go back to it.
Did Kim get mad at you for playing it so much?
Yeah, when she did it, when I did it at first, she was.
Yeah.
Because I played in the living room all the time. She'd have to go in the bedroom and watch TV.
See, that's why, like me, you got to go put the rig or the PlayStation in another room, and you just got to go in that room and do your racing in there.
Now I'm real big on Dirt Tracking 3 on my phone.
On
I'll
your
sit there
phone,
and
yeah,
play
yeah.
that.
Well, that's fine because she can sit there and
Yeah.
watch her show.
But like I said, I'll be done with it in about 2 weeks, and I'll never pick it back up again. I'm just bad about that. That's why
Wow.
I don't get into it, because I know I'll just stop and won't go back.
I have to. Eventually, I'll have to stop because I'm neglecting other things. If I get
Yeah.
into something,
Well, that's
I'll go doing it all the time.
that's kind of where I feel like I've been lately because, like I said, it's kind of like my outlet, and I'm not getting to race for real. So like I go in there, and then it's like once I start, I can't make myself stop.
It is a
I
little
can't
different
limit
for
myself.
y'all, though. I mean, you're drivers. I mean, Brad, you have a responsibility to the people that are paying you to drive the car. I mean, you I'm just a guy over here that likes racing. I don't know if there's any point. You could at least use that as an excuse. And
The helmet
yeah.
toter over here doesn't have to work on his stuff. He can just go to the house.
I mean, really, you need to be iRacing, brother.
Fairness, they all live far away from me, so I just get to show them the race. So
So if you tear something up, do you stick around and help out at all, or do you just say,
Oh,
all right, I'll
yeah.
see you?
No.
That's when you leave
Well,
quick.
back in the trailer, but
You help when you win.
knock on wood, like that. That hasn't happened much. So yeah, no, we'll help get at the trailer. Yeah.
He hops out the car, walks to the car.
Yeah, just gets out and he's like, "That sucks for you guys," and then just gets
No,
in the
'cause
car and goes home.
You gonna steer it back to the trailer?
I wouldn't be invited
No.
back next weekend if I did that. So yeah, I couldn't go that far.
Oh my goodness!
Well, hey, we did skip over one thing in the beginning. We got on iRacing, but we did forget to talk about one of the rainouts, Riverside.
Yeah.
The conspiracy, the controversy. What's going on at Riverside?
Yeah.
I mean, it's our home track.
Well, Comp was the one that canceled the race, so this was the Comp.
Yeah, but that's
late
the
model
big
race.
controversy too. Is some people are saying Clayton, and then some people are saying Comp canceled it. But I don't know. I should have called Clayton and asked him what happened. But
Hang on.
But-
I have
Hang
an
on,
idea.
But I've
I'm gonna
heard-
text somebody too.
Hang on. I have an idea.
but I've heard both. I've seen both posted that.
Hang on. Should I do it?
No,
You sure? Why not?
because he'll be cussing and all that stuff. And
Well, that's fine. What if I?
We can edit that out. We can edit that out.
Hang on. Let's just. We're having fun. Now
You got to tell him you're on the podcast.
I'm gonna tell him, and he may not answer.
Hello?
Clayton Allen,
Yes, sir.
you're on the Letter Eat podcast.
So what?
What now?
You're on the Letter Eat podcast. We got a question.
Lay it on me.
Well, what? You listening?
Yeah.
Okay.
I said, lay it on me.
All right. Oh, okay. I didn't hear that part. So, who actually canceled the races past weekend? Was it Riverside or was it Comp?
It was a combination of both organizations making an educated guess at 12 o'clock in the afternoon. I'll send you the radar, the future radar that we had to look at that was going to be in there at 6 o'clock.
This guy knew
You
it was
got multiple
controversial,
things
and he
you have to
screenshot it.
look at when you're doing that. We have to look at if we get those rigs in there, what is it going to take to get out of there if they get stuck?
Right.
Those are not, people talk about, back in the 70s, we used to drive out. Yeah, back in the 70s, we had an El Camino and an open wheel trailer. Okay? So now we've got $300,000 trailers, not trucks and trailers. Just 3 weeks ago, B&D was over there, and Lynn Irwin stuck his truck and trailer, and they pulled off both hooks off the back and tore his door up and almost killed the driver when the chain broke and the hook went shooting by him like a gosh dog rocket.
Yeah.
Ooh.
I remember
So
that.
we have to look at that. Then we have to look at if the rain's all around us and not on us,
Nobody's coming.
what does that do for the track?
Right.
And nobody shows up because don't forget it was on TV.
Right.
So everybody
Race
wants the racetrack and the racing organization, all that, but people can stay at home and watch that stuff on TV. So if it rains all around us and not on us, which let's don't forget, it rained at the racetrack. So let's don't lose sight. It rained at the racetrack.
6:30.
So
Okay.
okay. So it rained for 12 to 15 minutes. It was raining at the truck stop so hard you couldn't hardly see off the front fender. But anyway, if it rains all around us and not on us, and everybody stays at home and watches it on TV, the track's still got a $40,000 exposure. Are the drivers going to say, "Hey, man, nobody showed up tonight, so just don't pay us tonight"?
Yeah.
Have you ever heard a driver say, "Don't worry about that, don't pay us"?
Yeah.
Nope. I don't know.
Never in the history of racing has that been said.
Yeah.
So, and then, so we just have to make an educated guess at noon because those guys there are also, I'm not saying they're racing for a living, but those guys are running, you're running $500,000, $600,000 rigs, you want to race. And so at noon, those guys could make a decision to go somewhere else and go race somewhere else and have a chance to get somewhere else. Or do you let them come in there, get all their junk dirty, rain at 6:30. Now, let's don't forget now, put this also in the equation. Also in the equation, we had 2 inches of rain on Tuesday. We had rain on Thursday. Saturday morning when I got there at 7:30, there was still water in the parking lot. turn one, he couldn't even drive the water truck through the turn one because it was so soft. It was rutted. The whole entire of the rubber on the tire, it was the rim was level with the dirt. So I knew if I got any water at all, any rain at all that turn one, all those ruts were going to be full of water.
Okay.
So you've got about 6 or 7 things that we have to formulate to put all of that together to make a somewhat of an educated decision. I don't need people in the stands slipping and falling. I don't need people on the concrete underneath there slipping and falling. 3 weeks ago, we thought we were going to pull it off. We thought the rain was going to go north of us. And what happened? At 5 o'clock, blowing sideways all the way through the beer stand into Christie's office, sideways, which is about 25 feet or 30 feet, blowing sideways. And we got 2 inches of rain in 40 minutes.
Yeah, and earlier this year, when was it, Brad? Like May? Were you there that night?
I wasn't there that night.
So the night we ran there one night, and we made it through the heat races. Rain was coming. My wife and my mom was at the soap factory working in South Haven, and they had texted me, both of them had said, hey, it's raining here, and I think it's headed toward y'all, according to the radar. And so I'm assuming y'all saw it too. And y'all moved the 360 class to second. So stock cars went out there, and they were first to race, and then we were next. I buckled in the car, and cars were on the track before I could even get buckled in good. And then the rain started coming, and it just kept on and kept on. So, and it was a mess getting out, which is what you try to avoid anyway.
Well, got that, but the way that we got the shootout on that deal also.
For extra trying, because we want to race, so you try.
That's right. Riverside has always been, if the first feature starts, you pay everybody by the heat races.
Yeah.
That's the way it's been since we were over there in the 70s.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
And so we did that. Well, then as a fan, you're sitting here saying, well, that kind of sucks. We paid to see a sprint car race, and we didn't get our money's worth.
Yeah.
Well, I paid all the drivers. Did you get your money that night, Brandon?
Oh yeah, I got my money, and I didn't start a race one except the heat race.
You guys dog right. So that's what we did, and we paid everybody, and that's the way it's always been done at Riverside. Other tracks do it differently, and other tracks do it, somewhat different. But I mean, with the 360s not racing over there all the time, it's not like I can say, hey, the next time y'all are going to race here in 5 weeks, then we'll rerun y'all's feature and pay you then.
Yeah. That doesn't make sense.
No. And so we, and that's what I'm saying. I mean, I know everybody takes cheap shots at us, and that's a lot easier to take because they know I don't get on that dadgum internet like all them smart people do. And so they take cheap shots at us. But I mean, for the most part, we have a lot of thought that goes into all of that stuff. It's hard to make decisions. It's very hard. But, you got people that didn't want to make a decision to come over there for $30 because it might rain, and I'm trying to make a $40,000 decision.
Yeah. Well, you're in a no-win situation, however you look at it, because people are going to talk.
Well, I mean, we are, but I mean, it's a bad deal for the racetrack as far as the name of the racetrack, and it's a bad thing for the racers. I mean, I know, don't forget we were on that side of the fence for a long time.
Right.
And I know you stuff all week. You think you got the winning combination. You want to come over there and show your winning combination off. And all of a sudden, some dumb gray-headed guy pulls the plug on you at noon.
Yeah, people make it seem like it's like a personal shot, like you're doing this on purpose to them, but it's nothing personal to it. It's like you more than anybody would want to open the gates and have the race go on, but you like all the stuff you've talked about factoring in. People, they don't factor that stuff in. They're like, well, I just want to take my car out there and race. Like, they have nothing to lose in this. Well, you have everything to lose, in my opinion, on this deal.
Yeah. Well, you're the one taking the most risk.
Well, you have that, but it's also, I mean, you still want to have a good experience for the fans.
Yeah,
I mean,
Right.
you put all that together, I mean, so it's just a lot of stuff that goes into it. But the main thing really was those rigs getting in there, and B&D having to come over there and possibly pull out 10 or 12 rigs, because let's don't forget the underlying deal about this whole thing is I got 2 inches of rain on Tuesday. We got another 3/4 of an inch of rain on Thursday. So the pits were solid on the top because the sun cured the top, but they were still soft. That's what happened to Lynn Irwin that night. He drove in fine, no problem. But when the sun went down and the moisture started rising in those pits,
Softens back up.
Down.
Right.
So we had to factor all of that in as well. And, it's an unfortunate deal. And as people saying, oh, he don't like late models, that's a crock of crap. I mean, I don't know where that got started, and it's not that. If I didn't like none of those guys and didn't give a rat's about their equipment, then I just pull your junk in here. If you got to pull out, here's B&D's number. Good luck to you.
So my argument for that is I've seen a lot of people talking about, well, if it had wings on them, they wouldn't have canceled this show.
Yeah.
So let me ask you about this. And we can cut whatever out if you don't want it in there. Let me ask you about the Outlaws last year, the very end of the year. What happened from your point of view? What happened?
Here we go.
The Outlaws lost their ass on Friday night because they got a dose of their own medicine, and the TV lost them about 30 or 35,000 on Friday night, and they got nervous about Saturday night, and they didn't want to take a chance on everybody staying home watching on TV. The same thing that happened to my ASCS race last year, that I called them and them out about it and told them this is the problem with the TV. We get no money for the TV. We had a great 2-day show. That race was great.
Both nights were really good. Really good.
So on Friday night, because everybody stayed at home and watched it on Friday night at home. We had a fair crowd on Saturday night, but still not that good of a crowd on Saturday night.
I think everybody was, most families, we're all kind of struggling. We're paying our bills, making it. And I think a lot of people were probably saving their money for the Outlaw race, wouldn't you say? The Saturday night show, that's the main event.
That's another thing, yeah.
That's probably...
You had that factor, but you also, don't forget we had to move that race. So could I...
Right. I forgot about that.
Put it in a different deal. I just didn't want it to get too much later than the Outlaw show because you're getting into questionable weather then.
Yeah.
And so, once again, just because of the weather, and then you make as educated of a guess as you could have a purse that big that's unsponsored, in hindsight, I probably should have just canceled it and waited till this year, and but there was a lot of hype around it. There was a lot of talk. We really thought it was going to be a good deal. 50-something cars, which was, in my opinion, I think it was 50-something. Correct me if I was wrong, Brad.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was.
Yeah, so, that was a great show. And, the racing was good, and the whole night was good. Just nobody showed up. And this is where it goes back to what we're talking about the super late model deal. All those guys are sitting there watching a TV and saving, I think it was a $30 ticket, I think that was. Which Friday night was only a $20 ticket. But they're saving $20 because they didn't want to come over and say, watch it on TV. And they're questioning me or getting in my about making a $40,000 question, a deal, a decision.
Right. Yeah.
And that's there's nobody over there that wants to see racing more than me. It just gets frustrating for the way that, just the negativity of everything that goes on every day and how they take pot shots at the track. Our staff, they work hard at this stuff all week long, just like this Facebook show. They've been working on that thing for 2.5 months now. And so they have a lot of interest and they put a lot of effort into all this stuff. It just gets tough. It's like I tell everybody, I don't know what anybody does for a job. Let me come over to your powder coating deal, and every time I come in there, this sucks. Look at this. If I went to Derek does it a lot better than this. Look at that. You know what I'm saying? If I nitpick your every time I come in there, the next time I come in, you welcome me with open arms and pat me on the back and say, hey, man, here's a cold glass of lemon. I wanted to tear my up again because I've worked all week for you to come tear my up.
Yeah, I agree. That's a good way to look at it. Yeah,
yep.
Very good way.
There's no difference in anything that we do as society. That's where we are as society. The Republicans want to piss and moan about the Democrats. The Democrats want to piss and moan about Trump. And just be happy with life and let's go forward.
Yeah.
You know,
We need to wrap this one up.
Trying to screw our whole life up. It's a little entertainment over there. You go over there. We've been spoiled of what we have. We've got the best drivers, in my opinion, and I'm probably a little biased. But when we have a full field of cars over there on a local deal,
It's the best racing, in my opinion. Yeah.
they can go anywhere in the country and be competitive. When you go up to Farmington, you win. Keith Ainsworth goes up there and laps up to lap 4. You know what I'm saying? Corey Ray wasn't even on a straight away from it. And so that guy races there every single weekend when his motor's good, when he can keep a motor together. But, you know, and so be happy with what you have and the opportunities. It's not Texas Motor Speedway. We don't want it Texas Motor Speedway. It's the oldest continuous one racetrack in the country.
That's what, That's what makes it unique.
That's right. Let's remember that and accept what it is. You know, there's flaws in everything. Can anything be better? Yeah. Don't forget, everybody over there works part-time, except Billy and John. And John works part-time, but I mean, Billy full-time. But I mean, I'm saying...
Probably a lot of volunteers.
Yeah, everybody else comes over there and does what they do. And when a radiator hose calls and I call... You know, Jim Bowden or William Moore, hey, no problem. We'll drive all the way to Gosh Dog Hernando to get back over here and help you with the hose. You know what I'm saying? And so we have all of that energy. We've got the most Hall of Fame sprint car drivers of any racetrack in the country.
Yeah.
They're out of Riverside Speedway.
Yeah.
I agree.
Be proud of what you have. Be happy with what you have. Is it the best? No. But is America the best? No, but it's better than everything else out there.
That's what I say all the time. Like I've been to a bunch of different racetracks, you know, the last 10 years, and they all have their problems. And honestly, a lot of them are a bunch of shitholes. Like you go to Riverside, it is way nicer than anything, well, outside the mag maybe, but you know, it's one of the nicest ones in the South. And like, we're very lucky to have that here.
Yeah. I could name probably 4 racetracks that I've been to that I think are just like really, really nice. You know what I mean? Like there's not many that's that on that level of like a Magnolia or Lucas Oil Speedway or Texas Motor Speedway. Like that's not very common. And Riverside, compared to so many others, is a lot nicer.
It's usually just a bunch of hillbillies out there moving some dirt around.
They come to watch racing.
Yeah.
The bottom line is, they went to Texas Motor Speedway. Let's just call it like it is, by God. Let's call it like it is. They go to Texas Motor Speedway. You could have shot a shotgun sideways and not hit nobody.
Yeah.
They go to Lucas, the other night at Lucas, Thursday and Friday nights, you could have shot a shotgun sideways, crossways, diagonal, and not hit nobody. They came to Riverside Speedway, and you couldn't find a place to pee.
Yeah.
There were so many people there.
Yeah. I agree.
And so you come there to see racing. Those kind of racers today are all guys that want to put their suits on, look pretty, take a picture, and go out there and dust their car off. When you come there, if Cody Gardner would have tore the fence down in turn 2 and let that thing seal up, and Brad, you can attest to that.
Yeah.
When it's sealed up, it was problem that you can, once you start Riverside with the sun up, that track has got to keep people turning the wheels on it to keep it churned up.
Yeah.
That's why we wanted to put stock cars out there.
Yeah.
But they only want to run one class to keep the cars on the track to keep it turned over.
Yeah.
They don't understand that gumbo.
Yeah.
They don't understand.
That's what I said too. I said that the one class Riverside doesn't work. You got to have something else there to keep it turned up, like a modified or a stock car. That's what I told everybody. I was like, that's not a normal track. Like they brought only sprint cars, and you let that thing seal up, and that's just the way it's going to be. You have to let them let Billy prepare the track like he would, and have another class there. He knows what to do, but you get to messing with him, and then to only have sprint cars there. Well, then that just throws off the whole formula. Like you can't don't mess with it.
The sitting time is the thing. It can't have that sitting, especially on a Sunday. He would not have tore the fence down in the qualifying. Or laps, really tore down in laps, I think.
It was qualifying. It was qualifying.
Okay, so when he did, and it sat for what, 20 minutes?
It was a long time. Yeah.
Yeah. And once it's sealed up, and you can't explain that to those guys, and when the moisture came back, when the sun went down,
and it slowed down. it slowed down a ton. I mean, literally from the time like the first 6 cars, and I was lucky enough to be one of the first ones.
Come on, Holland.
Yeah, that's right. You were. And so, I mean, all that's good. And I mean, but like I said, I mean, I know I carry my feelings on my sleeves, and like I tell everybody, they either like me or they don't like me. There's no real middle ground with me because, you know, we're passionate about it. Sherry and I have been on that thing since '06. We owned it through the collapse in '08 when we were having to put money in just to keep it open because we couldn't. They wasn't bringing nobody there. We went through the collapse of 14 and did everything we could do to keep it open during that period.
So a lot of people, a lot of other people would have gave up a long time ago. They wouldn't have taken all this shit. They'd have gave up a long time. I don't think people really realize that. Is that a lot of people would have given up. And I can remember Motorsports Park. People would go on Mid-South Racing and would complain and bitch about Motorsports Park. And then the second it closed down, these same people went on this message board and said, boycott Motorsports Park. Don't go to the NASCAR races. Don't go to the drag races. I'm like, well, I thought y'all hated it. So what are we doing here? It's the same thing. If you were to close that thing down tomorrow, they would wake up and raise hell. What are we going to do now? I'm like, well, that's your problem. Good luck, you know?
Yeah.
So I appreciate you doing. There's a lot of people that appreciate what you do. There's just a lot of dummies that like to get on the internet and just talk and holler. And
the positives it's never louder than the negative. The negative always seems to find its way out, and it's always going to be overheard.
Well, it's the smallest majority, but they're the loudest,
right?
You know,
for sure.
I mean, it is, but I mean, like I said, it had nothing to do. It was not a Comcam's call. It was not a Riverside call. It was a combined call. The main thing is, I mean, there's no doubt Chris wanted to race because he's had a tremendous amount of rainouts leading up to this weekend, and his guys really, you know, they need points and they got to keep the series going. And so he was, you know, he was doing all he could do, trying to get it to go in. And we discussed it back and forth. And you just have to, you know, when you have to make a decision at noon, you know, and then it is what it is. But, you know, we're coming off of the last 4 or 5 weeks like we've had it. And then when, you know, in the back of my mind still goes back to the Lynn Irwin deal. I mean, when his truck stuck out there, that's just one. Yeah. And I was going to have 25 of those cats over there. Yeah. And don't forget, it didn't rain that night that Lynn Irwin got stuck. He just parked during the sun was up. Then when the sun went down, that truck went down with the sun. Yeah. So I got never rained that night. He tried to back buried.
I got a question about that. So let's say 25 haulers get stuck and B&D towing comes over there. Are you footing the bill for towing everybody out of there? How does that work?
I'll be honest with you. He is one great guy. He sponsors and helps a lot of people over there. He's got that little record because he loves just coming up there. He's never charged us in. When Donnie Sal's big rig got stuck over there, when Lynn Irwin, he's never charged us a dime. The problem is we didn't want, you know, you got that, but if he gets a call.
Oh, yeah.
Wow. He's trying to get everybody out.
He's got to drive off. He's going to leave those guys there because if one of his main customers, Yellow Freight, calls and says, we got a truck sitting in Jonesboro and it needs to get off the side of the road, he's giving them the salute. And
I'll come back in the morning and get you out.
To jump.
Yeah.
And so, and that's what you got to think about, and all of that stuff there. Plus, I mean, like I said, you know, those rigs nowadays, man, it's just you tear the back hooks off of those things, or you tear those trailers up. You know, the damn. If he did charge $300, that ain't going to touch what it's going to cost to fix those trailers back up.
Right. Well,
that ain't going to touch.
Well, Clayton Allen, you were officially the first guest ever. We appreciate it. I'm glad you picked up because we were sitting here just about to talk about it, and I said, you know what? I don't want to sit here. I know the man to call, so we called you.
Hey, we'll cut those GDs out so they won't kick you out of church on Sunday.
Lord help us.
Gosh damn. Appreciate you. And I hope you have great success with this podcast. And anything we can do to help you, just let us know.
Well, I appreciate it.
I don't have any money to sponsor you.
We certainly appreciate it. I'd like to have you come in because I'm sure there's a lot of questions.
I wish we'd had you tonight.
For real. Well, we did. Hey, I'm glad we called it, but thanks, buddy. I appreciate it.
All right. Thank you. Have a great night.
You too. See you.
All right, we'll see y'all next week. That was good. It's good. We're good. We're out.
That was pretty. That was
We
good.
gotta get that cut up
All right.
immediately.
Yeah.
That was good.
Yeah, that was
good.
That was fun. Yeah, that was a lot of fun. I'm glad we done that.
It was a lot of fun, and I think it answers the question. Conspiracy,
I mean,
controversy.
I was gonna say
it's not.
who can
It's
answer
not.
the question better than literally the guy that runs the
Yeah.
place and owns the place.
It's
gives
just
you- it
your
gives you-
$20 don't matter. Your $30 don't matter.
It gives you a look, an inside look of what goes through this
Yeah.
process of what it takes to actually do it. It's like
Yeah.
he don't just cancel the race and then just walk away and
Yeah.
nothing happens with that. Like you let people in there, he's still got to pay his staff, he's got to pay insurance, and he doesn't make a single lap on the track. Well, then there's a lot of things that go into this. I don't think people really understand or realize what it takes.
Well, this whole Facebook 30 thing, and we can talk about it a little bit. And I would have kept talking to him, but I want to kind of save it because I mean, he would be a great person to have come in and talk about this stuff some more. But he's having all these Facebook folks pick and decide what race they want to watch, the payout, the race structure, like the heats, the qualifying, all that. Well, what if you gave them an actual inside look? Like, what if you had somebody follow him around and follow, Jeremy and Brad Carver, like all these guys? Like, if people actually got to see how and why they make decisions that they make at the racetrack, and give people more of a visual as to like how it actually goes down.
No, he just gave you a pretty good one.
Oh,
with
yeah.
a $40,000 number.
But he's the owner. I just mean as far as even the calls that happen on the racetrack. People, you're never gonna make everybody happy. I'm convinced you're never gonna make everybody happy no matter what. But like, if you could get like an insider's view of like what it is they're talking about, what they're saying, and why they make the decisions that they make, it would probably help a lot.
You probably would. There's always going to be somebody to talk to. It's almost better to give them something to talk about.
Yeah.
That way, at least you know what they're talking about.
Yeah.
I don't know.
What do you think?
I mean, it's a great idea, but nobody's going to do it. They don't want to. They don't want to be called out on your bullshit, so you're not going to go do it.
Yeah.
So,
You don't think people would actually sit down and watch how it all shakes out?
no.
Really?
They talk about it on Facebook before they sit down and
Yeah.
talk about it. I mean, we live in Covington, Tennessee. Look around, brother. We see that example all
Well, maybe
the time.
I'm the only one then, because I would sit down and watch it. Like some of my favorite stuff to watch is like the stuff on YouTube, like following drivers and teams around, like watching stuff in the pits and seeing how their night goes and what they talk about. Like, I like watching that.
Yeah, people don't care.
Well, I
People
mean,
don't care to know what they don't know.
I don't think they wouldn't be interested in it. I just don't think they want to be called out on it. Like, oh, I'm wrong. Like, this is what I've been complaining about the whole time. Well, then what do I complain about after this?
Yeah.
I mean, that's the way I look at it. Like, they don't want to go face the music or face the things they complain about all the time. So,
But don't you think that
I
we
don't even
should
think they
do that?
care.
I
don't
mean,
even
yeah, I
think
think
they
you
care.
should, but I just don't think they don't think they care. Honestly,
No. They're going to say what they want to
That's
say no
crazy
matter
to me.
I
what.
just don't think they care.
That's
Honestly,
really crazy to me because I would want to hold people accountable and like have proof. But
No.
okay,
No.
maybe I'm the only one then that thinks like this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what we're supposed to do.
I'm about
after
to
that.
say, how do we follow that? Because that was
I
bad.
don't know. I think
I don't
we're,
think anything else matters.
we can-
honestly.
Yeah.
We do
Like-
need to probably say out loud, if you did take part in the Facebook survey for what's going on in Riverside, 2 weekends, right? It's the 29th.
The
Is that
26th.
26th.
Yeah.
On the 26th, if you took part in the survey, you probably need to show up and
For
support
the
the
vote.
track.
You mean like voting on?
Yeah, in the vote.
Yeah.
And, in the thing that they publish, they're still doing it right now.
Yeah.
If you
Yeah,
took
they're
part in
voting
that-
on the format right now.
One thing I did want to say about that was it was kind of like a interesting field survey just for the fan base, because you hear debates all the time about we need to not put so much money on top and spread it out through the field,
Yeah.
or we need more start money, or debates like that. Well, they had 3 different options. One of them, it was like 1,000 to win, 900, 800, like really good breakdown with good start money. Second one was like 1,500, had a pretty good breakdown and maybe not as much start money. And then the last one was 2,000 to win, like 1,200. It's like a 360 payout,
Yeah.
all the way down to 200 to start. and the one with the biggest chunk going to the winner was the one that won by a mile.
Yep.
Yeah.
So it was
Like
interesting.
racing should be.
It was interesting to see that like play out live.
Yeah.
You know, to kind of end the debate. This is what the people want to see.
Yep.
People race for the most money to win. The 2,000 to win will attract the most cars. You know, you could have a great breakdown, cool, but
Yeah.
you're not gonna get the same type of hype or cars to come to $1,000 to win late model show.
Yep.
And so at the end of the day, people want to see people race for the most amount of money to win.
The fans do.
Yeah, fans.
The,
It just makes
Even
the
some
racing, when
even
you're
racers
racing-
though. I mean, even some racers are going to come because it's 2,000 to win. If there's 1,000 to win, breakdown. Damn, I'm not coming because it's only 1,000 to win.
Yeah. So you're racing, and at the very least, your top 3 guys are going to be running balls to the wall when it comes down to the end of the race, because they're going to do everything they can to get up there. And that's what I mean. Everybody wants to get mad at NASCAR for all the restarts. Nashville last year put Joey Logano in the playoffs. Terrible. It was awful. 7 restarts or whatever it was.
Yeah.
The fans loved it. Racers didn't care for it.
Yeah.
People that like racing or the avid racing, but the TV viewers, oh man, it was like 7 overtimes. I mean, that's the same thing like 7 overtimes at the Super Bowl. Yeah, everybody wants to see that.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, we're in such an entertainment phase. Like everybody wants to be entertained, no matter the cost or whatever. Like any kind of gimmicks or whatever. Like all your traditional things are not as entertaining. You know, like we still race. Like, you know, we don't have a championship. You know, like ASCS or Outlaws or whoever. They're not going to have this 10 races to decide the champion. Like, it would probably help the Outlaws. Gravel's done run away with it so bad, he'll be crowned champion 4 weeks before we learn the last race. So it's not entertaining, but
Well,
for me,
I think in sprint car world, the championship is not.
it's not near.
interesting to people.
It's not. Yeah, it's not near as.
But the difference
interesting.
is you have these races throughout the year where you can go win $100,000.
Yeah.
Or you can go win however much money you can. What did Kofoid win a couple weeks ago? 300-something thousand in a matter of 2 days.
Yeah. Well, like he said, the championship's really and I agree. The championship's not what people really care about. Like the racing itself is what we love, and it's entertaining in itself. You don't have to have the championship to be entertaining.
Well, Brian Bell was just texting me. I was watching the high limit heat races. You know, for high limit, if you're quick time, you start 4th in the heat race, and if you can win that heat race, you lock automatically into the dash. So there's some incentive to race. Even though you're automatically locked in the dash, well, if you win the dash, you're automatically on the pole of it.
Yep.
And we were just talking about how entertaining those heat races were compared to outlaw heat races. Well, the outlaws, you know, you line up heads up, quick times first, second on back, and they're usually just get out front, stay out front, whereas the high limit heat races are way more entertaining.
Yeah.
So, like we're just talking
Brad,
about.
And the
you're saying
ASCS,
high limit is better than Outlaws?
People, well, no. I feel like the outlaws, well, they would just.
I just want to make sure.
They would just tweak it a
It
little
sounded
bit.
like you were saying
Yeah.
that. I just want to make sure
tweak
that
it a little
you're
bit.
still holding the
Work-
same position.
the races that we went to, the national or ASCS races a couple weeks ago, was that not how it was too? Was it like qualified? Well, I know we were racing each other for like we had to draw and then
you qualify in your
in your heat race, but it was the
start
same
fourth.
way. Fastest had to start fourth,
and if you win that one, you're the only one that transfers into the dash.
Yeah.
I think you may still have to draw, but you've knocked somebody else out. So it goes from
it was similar.
It goes from like a 6-car heat race or 6-car dash to 5-car dash if you knock somebody out like that. So there's incentive to go win it to make less cars be in the dash. It's like, I like that. It's entertaining. Like I said, sprint car people come to see entertaining racing. They don't really care about championship battles.
Yeah.
It's just more about the entertaining racing.
And you
That's what you wanna see.
can hop into a sprint car, any sprint car race. You can just hop right into it. It don't matter if you're keeping up the series or not.
Oh,
you can
yeah.
hop right into the race
for sure.
and watch it. Whereas you don't get that with late models. I don't get that with late models. And I watch NASCAR every week, but I can't imagine just hopping in and watching NASCAR without knowing, okay, this is where my driver's sitting throughout the
well, the racing's not as entertaining as to us or to me. It's not as entertaining as sprint car racing. So like you almost need the story to make it entertaining.
Yeah.
And so I think that's why they have the gimmicks. They have more stuff that they have go on. So, but that the bottom line, sprint car racing without anything is hands down to me probably always will be way more entertaining.
Yeah.
You know, you don't need all this other
It's a
stuff.
lot faster. It's a lot tighter. It's a lot closer, seems like.
A lot more dangerous.
And
Lot-
open wheel.
some people
When
like that.
You add the open wheel into it,
Yeah.
and you get I mean, shoot, I can't remember what race it was last week, but somebody got two sideways coming out of turn 2, going down the back straight, and next thing you know, there's 4 cars piled up. I think it was a high limit race last Friday night, but that doesn't happen. I mean, NASCAR, they might pile up, but somebody gets a little sideways, you bang them back straight. It ain't like wheels are going to be rolling over each other. I mean, there's a lot of things going on in sprint car racing, a lot of excitement that the other series don't have. They have longer form, but it's just different styles.
Yeah.
And I think sprint car can stand alone without championship, even though, I mean, I know there is a championship on points, but they can stand alone without it. Each individual race can.
Well, something else. Well, I got one more thing I want to talk about, and then like I think this will be pretty good. But like you said, it's kind of hard to follow up with the Clayton Allen phone call. That was pretty good. So, but I do have something I kind of wanted to ask you. I'm curious what y'all's opinion is, and I wrote it up on the board up there. But we're talking about Catherine Legg. The NASCAR deal. She showed up kind of out of nowhere. And do you know anything about Catherine at all?
Nope.
So, you know a little bit.
I've seen them show her on TV.
Yeah, she came from open wheel.
She's pretty good. She's a pretty good open wheel driver. I mean, she over the seas, over the pond, across the pond. I
was trying to find some of her stats, and there wasn't what I noticed about, like, I asked AI, like, give me all of Catherine Legg's stats, bio, everything, and it didn't really state anything she'd won or just really done. What it would say is first woman to do this or fastest lap for a woman. It didn't say how far off pace she was from whoever was quickest. It would say for a woman. It said that a lot. And so, all this controversy going on, so far, just about every race she's been in, some form of controversy happened where she got in somebody's way, caused an accident, she wrecked herself and caution comes out, ruins somebody's day. Something's happened. And this past weekend, she actually out-qualified Corey Haim.
2 weekends in a row.
Chicago
and Sonoma.
In the Cup Series, both at road courses. That's her background. And we consider Corey really, really good. He's dominating in trucks right now.
And on road courses.
Yeah.
He's really good on road courses.
Yeah, so it's not like he's bad, okay? But somehow, in lesser equipment, nonetheless, she goes out qualifies and kicks him out.
Let's put some perspective in here real quick. I don't know where you're going, but let me throw a little bit more in there because Corey Haim is my guy.
Yeah, I know.
He is my favorite. He's probably my favorite NASCAR driver simply because I'm preparing for my favorite, Denny Hamlin, to be cycled out here. He's going to be retiring soon. But Corey Haim is my guy.
Yeah.
And he's good. He's really good. But the difference between Catherine Legg is not 20 years old. Corey Haim is 20 or 21.
She was born in 1980. So what is that?
She would be 15 years older than me. That woman is she's 45 years old.
45 years old, yeah.
All right, so she's 45 years old. She's been racing road cars all her life. SVG is the topic right now in NASCAR.
Yeah.
Connor Zilisch is the guy right behind him who's an 18-year-old. That's the only guy that successfully beat SVG on a road course when SVG finishes the race.
Yeah.
All right. But the conversation all this week with as far as Cup goes is that nobody in Cup has any road experience compared to SVG.
All right.
He came from a Fender car.
Basically, like Australia's NASCAR.
But it is it's like a stock car. It's a heavy car. It's not a Formula One car where they weigh 1,500 pounds or whatever it is.
It's a full body sports car, just like NASCAR, but it's not.
So
NASCAR.
He comes into this series with a distinct advantage, and it's showing extremely. I mean, he is in complete control of these races, and so when you take a woman like Legg, going back to Legg, she's been racing the same amount of time on road courses that SVG has, potentially longer, because I cannot remember when her career started.
She's older.
She is older, but I can't remember when it started, so I won't say for sure that she's been doing it longer.
Well, she finished. I think it was 4, and I wrote it down, and I think I lost the paper. But anyway, I think it was 14th in the 2012 Indy 500.
She's been in it a long.
So it's been
time.
a while.
She's been in a long time, and now to defend she should be good.
She should be.
She should be really good. Now 45, that may be on the. If she is 45, that may be on the backside of her peak performance. Women do.
Everybody's different.
Yeah, I mean, most drivers that age are cycling out. We see that with the guys that we grew up watching. They're kind of cycling out now. They're not on the cutting edge. But when it comes to comparing Corey Haim and Catherine Legg completed her qualifying rounds.
Yeah,
that's maturity in a race car. Whereas Corey Haim was pushing stuff that he doesn't drive a lot. He was pushing it to the max, and he would have timed her out, but he hit the wall. He got loose and hit the wall in both instances, Sonoma and Chicago. The back end, he lost the back end and put it in the wall and bent a toe link. I don't know what exactly broke it, Sonoma, but he was unable to keep.
Well, so the reason I'm trying to get into something here. So like, I saw a video that a fan posted. The whole field goes by, right, and then about 10, 12 seconds later, here she comes rolling by, and so she's not competitive at all. And, I think both of you, and I can send it to Will and we could put it in here, but you saw what happened on TV with Jamie McMurray. They were coming back from commercial break, and you heard Jamie, like she had wrecked on the racetrack. It was an Xfinity race. And as they're coming back in, the audio kicks back on, and you heard Jamie McMurray say she bought her way in.
Yeah. What race was that? That was.
I want to say it was like. Was it
Daytona?
No, it wasn't Daytona.
Or Talladega?
I actually wanted to say Darlington, but I know that's not right. But anyway, so she wrecks out, and she hasn't been competitive at all. Like, she finished 19th at the road course, the Chicago street course a couple weeks ago, which, by far best she's run so far. But all this hype, she comes in. But I think the reason she probably ran so poorly this past time was she probably just wanted to stay out of the darn news and have a clean day and just, get by, not have any controversy. Yeah. Let's just get through this thing. And so I bring all this up. I go back and forth. Should women have their own league? We got the WNBA, you got softball. Should racing have its own women's racing league?
I think it's 2025, Brandon, and your toxic masculinity is really triggering me right now.
Okay.
What do you do about? So I have two opinions.
I have two arguments.
I have two opinions on it.
Yeah.
Isabella Robusto is racing ARCA right now,
and
she gets wrecked out of about every race she's in. I mean, honestly, sometimes it may be her fault, sometimes it's not her fault.
Yeah.
But that woman can run. She may not be a woman. She may still be a teenager, but she can run, and she can run with the best of those guys in ARCA. Now it's ARCA.
Yeah.
So is there room for her to progress? She shows a little bit. She shows maturity. She makes good decisions. She can run the car well. Maybe she needs an opportunity to move up. But the problem is with these women that be getting into NASCAR.
You need to be getting on him, not me.
Or into the higher levels. If they don't have pretty hair and nice tits,
nice.
That's true.
They do not get pushed up. Danica Patrick raced through the early 2000s, and it's simply because what she looked like. Because she was terrible in NASCAR. She did pretty good in open wheel stuff, but terrible in NASCAR.
But she won one race on fuel mileage.
Terrible in NASCAR. But she brought the brand of NASCAR up because people tuned in to see Danica Patrick.
Yeah.
And the problem is these girls that look good, most time they can't drive. Most time they're just given. Well, old man told me one time, if two girls came into his business, this is probably going to have to get cut, but I'll say it anyway. He said two girls came into his business looking for a job as a secretary. One of them was the drop dead gorgeous, and the other one was a fat girl with pimples on her face. He's hiring the girl with fat girl with pimples on her face because she has had to work for everything she's ever gotten. And the pretty girl gets given everything.
Yeah.
And that's how NASCAR is. And I mean, we can cut that analogy if we need to, but
No, I think it's perfect. Well, I mean, social media is that way. You know,
Yeah.
she doesn't have to be talented at all. Her socials can blow up just based on what she looks like.
Yes.
And racing is the same way.
yeah, it's all about buying your ride. So if you can get the money up, you
Yeah.
can pay for the ride.
That was my thing. Was I don't think you need a woman's racing league. You just need the best women to come race.
Yep.
It's just like we had Morgan Turpin around here actually winning races,
That
a lot
was
of races, but never
where I'm
got
going with this.
never
Yeah.
got the recognition because she wasn't on social media making TikToks or posing in bathing suits and
Yeah.
all those things that most of them do to get to where they are. They're not the best. They're not putting the best women in there. They're putting the ones who have the most social media presence or the bathing suit photos. Morgan, she was winning races all the time, but never got any notoriety for it.
Right.
We can bring that conversation right back around to not NASCAR, but seats in general.
Yeah.
Are the best drivers driving the top cars?
No.
Sometimes they are.
Not very common.
But then again, all you got to do is have the money. If you got the money, you can show up and run the car.
Yeah. Well, so I brought it up because you don't see very many women that act, that can do it, that can
Another thing-
actually do it.
Another thing though is most of the guys that like buy into their NASCAR rides, most of them are buying into the best stuff, and so it's a lot about equipment too. Like these women that are coming in here and racing, like Catherine Legg, she's not. Well, I don't even know who she's driving for. It's
Yeah.
probably a shitbox.
It is.
honestly.
It is.
And so that
it's
plays a big role
volunteer.
too. Is what car are you in? So
Well, that is one thing I do respect about Catherine Legg is that she's not just on there getting her titties out.
The fact that she's hopping in like he's talking about a car that's not good,
Yeah.
and she just keeps coming back, keeps taking it. Good for her. But I'm like, so
I don't think she's doing anything to make the sport better though. With the negative, I mean, Daniel Suarez was in contention to run a really good race. She
Yeah.
took him out as he was
yeah,
in the top 5, if I'm not mistaken. I have to go back and look, but
yeah,
she was the reason he's out of the race, and now he's out of a job.
yeah. Oh yeah,
And, I mean,
yeah. She
not
didn't
that
have to
that's not that that's the reason, because obviously they've come out and been pretty clear about the reasoning behind that. But
Yeah.
if Suarez has another win, then he and Chastain be tied right now, and SVG would. I mean, SVG's king dog at the moment, but
Yeah.
uh,
Well, I'm gonna tell you, like where I was getting to is like Taylor Raymer. I was with a buddy of mine. We were watching Lake Ozark one night, and I'm watching Taylor rip around Lake Ozark. And I told my buddy, I said, she's got more balls than probably most of the guys out here. Like she was slinging the thing off in the corner, and that track was rough. And that little midget, and man, when them midgets get to flipping, they roll like a darn ball, and just it's like they don't. My cousin Johnny, he jokes, says there's cars that still ain't came down in Belleville from flipping, and so and she's super talented. She went out, won races.
she never. I think she won like a range short one. Jade Abedigian,
Now Jade,
she won.
Kaylee Bryson. Kaylee Bryson's really good. She's the only female to ever make the Chili Bowl. So there are some really talented ones, but like you said, there's so many that they just get in because of their looks. They push all the wrong things and just like so many, whether you're male, female, doesn't matter. There's just so many that get in and all for the wrong reason. They just go in, buy the ride. But I don't think they should have their own league because when we get in the car, that's the equalizer is the car. The only thing that might be different is the mindset. I don't.
And risk assessment, and then
Right.
there's a lot of things that give women a disadvantage when
That-
they get in the car.
that is the
men
only
don't
argument.
have.
That right there is the only argument that I would say that would justify having a women's racing league is they are different. They do think different.
Yeah.
So it might even be you could even argue maybe it could be a safety issue. With
it could
race
be
with racing with other men.
That's what I was going to say. It could probably be more of a safety issue for the men in that race having to drive around. I think Catherine Legg, Danica Patrick, I mean, these are the big ones. Everybody knows who they are because it's NASCAR. That's why I keep going back to them. But
Well, I just mean even if one comes in and is like truly getting in and I don't want to say dominate, but compete for wins or whatever, guys.
When does that happen?
I know, but I'm saying if she gets in, whoever this is gets in, and she's competing for wins, and guys are like, I'm not getting beat by a girl. You know, they're gonna rough her up probably harder than anybody. They're gonna want to push her around, and it.
Well, I hope
you
they
know,
race. I mean, I hope that they would race evenly. I mean, if you can't get beat by
I
a girl,
would-
then be better.
All right,
Because here's the other thing of that. Here's the other part of that. You should be better as a man. You should
Yeah.
be able to hold up longer. I mean, just how men are built, men versus women, our physical bodies are made up, and how our minds work. You should be able to beat a girl.
Yeah.
You should be able to. If you can't, blame it on the car or get.
Yeah.
Truth is, it's probably going to be.
but I say the car's the equalizer.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's why you could go back and forth. But like I said, like girls like Jade, Kaylee, all these that have come out, Morgan Turpin. I've said Morgan Turpin deserved a whole lot better than what she ever got.
Yeah.
Because
I'm afraid it would look like 305s at Riverside, though. You have a women's league, and there's 7 cars that come out.
Yeah.
And you're racing a heat race.
Yeah. Well, I don't mean just the sprint cars. I just mean in general, or like NASCAR or whatever. I just mean in general. But Morgan is a prime example because she's one I've actually raced with for many years. I hadn't seen her in a little bit, but she could hang with any of us for sure. She could kill us.
Went and had a kid and didn't race for a year. She came back, and I want to say like her second race back, she won.
Yeah,
pretty good. One of her first 3 races back, she ended up winning.
Yeah, actually, kind of a fun story about her. I actually accidentally at the ASCS race that we were talking about earlier, I kind of sort of run over and I spun her out, and I didn't mean to. So I just now thought about that. But Morgan is really, really good. I've always appreciated. She's one of us. I hadn't thought any. I don't think about her being a woman.
She actually worked on them too.
She would actually get in and do the work.
Yeah, she was
so
changing tires, spacing, all that stuff.
We don't have to. We don't have to be the ones to decide that.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure if any of us have daughters, then I guess you are having a daughter.
Yeah.
So I mean,
hopefully
I'll be dead if anybody tells Brad's daughter she can't drive.
Yeah. Yeah. No,
we're gonna be fighting.
Yeah.
I don't want my kids to race.
Well, see, unless it's Brad. Unless Brad tells her.
All right. Well, I think this is a good place to stop right here. But we appreciate y'all tuning in, listening. If y'all have anything you want us to talk about, any questions, I would, leave it in the comments. We watch this stuff every week. Please like, subscribe, follow, leave us a 5-star rating. All the above. It really helps us out. So we appreciate y'all listening in, and we'll see y'all next week. See ya.